Hey guys, it's Blaize, and just like with CORY's video, this is not going to be edited or have any music in it. This is just kind of straightforward talking, and it's been a really rough day, and I do get asked a lot. I mean, I know I don't have to answer everybody, and I'm not doing this to answer for anybody. I'm doing this for myself as a healthy outlet. So I'm going to do the best I can to tell you a true love story, and that was the story of me and Michael. Just know that this is his hoodie. It's the only reason I'm wearing it. I would never buy an Aeropostale yellow hoodie, but it smells like him, and this is the hoodie I used to steal all the time from him. I used to steal all the time. He used to just leave it at my house, but so this was one of the items his family let me keep, so I'm very grateful to that, and it still smells like him, like I said, so I like to wear it from time to time. Okay, so if you didn't watch my first video, it's one of the first videos I ever made on this YouTube channel, called The Story of May 1st, 2008. I will link it in the description box below so you can check that out, or you can just go to it. It is the story of how I found my fiance CORY dead, and how he died in 2008. So shortly after, about around 5 months after CORY passed away, I kind of found a new group of friends, and at first it was just more trying to take my mind off the fact of the trauma and horror that had just happened. And me and my best friend Josh had just met, and we actually started dating. And then about a month into our dating, not even a month, like 2 weeks into us dating, he introduced me to a few more of his friends, and one of them was Michael. Obviously, from the first minute that I saw him, he was obviously very attractive, very, very funny, very flirtatious, very sweet, and just pretty much, he reminded me of CORY in the way of, he just thought he was Mr. Suave, and thought that, you know, nobody could resist him. So that was obvious the first time I met him. So as the year progresses, I dated Josh for a year, and I didn't want to, but I broke it off with Josh only because I loved him more like a brother, and he kind of felt the same way. We felt more like we were family than romantically involved. But over that year that we still were together, and even after we broke up, me, Josh, and Michael became a trio. We were inseparable, and we called each other Team Epic Fail. We got that name from an episode of, not Ghost Adventures, but that little short series that Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures did for like a whole, like 3 episodes, you know, where he had like amateur ghost hunters, and they would go against each other, and one of them was Team Epic something, and we were all watching it, and one of us, I don't remember who, made the joke that our name, that we wanted to be on that show, and our name should be Team Epic Fail, because we are just such failures in life. So that's kind of the story behind how we got that name. Fast forward to March 20th, 2010. Michael had come over just by himself a couple times before this, and but he came over this one time when he was done hanging out with Josh, and he knew that, like him, I was a night owl, that I basically stayed up all night. So he came over, and we were just hanging out watching Ghost Adventures, you know, and it was very obvious we had a romantic connection to each other, but neither one of us kind of really wanted to point it out because of obvious reasons. But when he was getting ready to leave, he was outside smoking one of his cigarettes, and I leaned him up against my railing and I kissed him. And I apologized, and he was like, no, it's okay, it's okay. And that's our anniversary. That's when we started dating and became romantically involved. The reason we kept our relationship kind of on the down low, and a secret from the public, was because we were afraid of hurting Josh, and we were afraid that he would not take too kindly to it, because even though Josh and I had agreed that this breakup was kind of mutual, we still felt it would be like a betrayal to Josh and that he would absolutely hate us if we started dating. And, you know, so for the first, I want to say 9 months to 10 months of our relationship, only my family knew, some of his family knew, and that was pretty much it. We had to pretty much sneak around our relationship. It's nothing we were ashamed of or anything like that. It was just because we did not want to start drama, and we didn't want to hurt anybody, especially Josh, because we loved Josh more than anything. He loved him like a brother. I loved him like a brother. I still do, and he always did. So then we publicly came out as a couple, and our relationship, I'm not going to paint a perfect picture of this relationship, because even though it is a true love story, we had our problems. I'm not going to pretend that there were no problems in this relationship. Just like with CORY, there were problems in this relationship, as there are problems in every relationship. But they were not problems that we couldn't work out. I have so many memories. I have a video camera where I took home movies of him and I, and it's just, we have so many memories together. We were very, very much in love with each other, and not everybody approved. I'm not gonna lie, not everybody approved of our relationship. A lot of people thought that I was kind of like the Yoko Ono of the relationship, that I came between two friends, but I didn't, because one, I never cheated on Josh, and two, what we told Josh about it, and he was dating other girls by this time anyway. So we all never stopped hanging out. We all still were Team Epic Fail even after me and Michael came out as a couple. I'm not going to say Josh was like jumping for joy for it. Obviously it's going to hurt a little bit if a guy who you consider your brother is now dating your ex. I know that there's like a guy code with that, but like I said, everybody involved, we were okay with it. Michael always did little things here and there to make not just me happy, but to make my family happy. He wanted so badly for my family to approve of him and to love him. He would bring flowers. He would help. He helped my dad do like side projects for the house. And me and Michael had several, I don't know how to explain it. We were definitely meant for each other. I call him my light because he brought me out of a really, really dark place in my life. Because once CORY died, I truly felt I would never fall in love again, that I would never be able to be comfortable with anybody besides CORY ever again. And Michael showed me that that was not true. So, I don't remember the date. It was early April of 2013. We decided to not be publicly in a relationship anymore. But we never stopped seeing each other. We never stopped being intimate. And I don't mean that in like a sexual way only. I mean, like that. I mean, we were still very much in love with each other. We still were hanging out all of the time. Nothing really changed, except we were just not publicly a couple. Then in early 2014, late 2013, my father finally announced to us that we're definitely moving to Colorado. And I was living in Jersey at this time. And I was devastated. My mom was devastated. My sister was devastated. We did not want to leave New Jersey, but we had no choice. And I told Michael about it, and he was very, very, very upset and begged me. He begged me not to go, and I told him I didn't want to go, and that I was going to try to do everything to change my father's mind. And trust me, my mother, and my sister, we all tried to do everything to change his mind. But his mind was set. And I'm not going to go into why we had to come with him, or anything like that. This caused a few different fights with me and Michael. And things were taken the wrong way, and things were taken out of context. And we had a fight through a text message that was just taken the wrong way. And so I moved out here, and I never got to say goodbye to him. I'm not going to go into every single detail of what happened in his life, what happened in my life, what happened in our life. But shortly after I moved here, we got back in touch, and we were FaceTiming, and we were on the phone with each other 24/7, whether it was texting, FaceTiming, voice call, just regular calling, but pictures. We would send each other YouTube videos. We would, it was still obvious that we were very much in love. And there were no secrets between him and I. He was seeing a girl, but he was very, very adamant about how he couldn't be in love with her because he was still in love with me. And we talked about him coming out to Colorado and how he wanted to come out and hold on to me and never let go again. And he promised that he would. And I held him to that promise. And we would still, even though we were 7,000 miles apart, no, I'm sorry, not 7,000, 1,700 miles apart. Is that how much apart we were? Yeah, 1,700 almost. It still felt like we were in the same room with each other, especially when we were FaceTiming. And even though we were so far apart, I was in Colorado, he was still in New Jersey, we still had the same feelings for each other. We were still just as intimate. We were still just as much of a couple as we always were. We just were not physically in each other's presence. So on September 11th, 2015, this past September, I had to go to urgent care. What a surprise. For my skin disease. What a surprise. And I told him that. And Michael had been working an 11-hour shift that day, and he was working in a very, very, very hot and humid warehouse, lifting a ton of stuff. And he was sending me pictures of him sweating. I don't know why he but he told me that he was going to go work out for a couple hours in the basement, which was his room. And he wanted me to call as soon as I got home from urgent care to let him know that everything was okay, and he wanted to know what had happened. So I get on the phone with him around 8:30ish at night on September 11th, and I told him what had happened, you know. And it was a very, very short conversation because it was very, very obvious that he was very, very tired and very, very just out of breath because he had been working out and he had been working all day. He was just such a dedicated hard worker. He loved working. He was a workaholic. Whether he was getting paid or not, he loved to work. And I asked him if, I said, tomorrow, can we FaceTime? Can you try to help me see what's wrong with my laptop? And he said, sure, babe, and, you know, anything. And he's like, all right, so I'll FaceTime you first thing in the morning. And he always, because he had to get up for work in the early a.m., every morning at 5 a.m., I would look at my phone because there would always be a good morning, sweetie text from him. And so we say, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow and I'll see you tomorrow. And I love you. Okay, sweetie. Bye, sweetie. I love you. Hung up. And I was up for a lot of that night. I don't know why. I just did not have a good feeling. I was cleaning my room out of nervousness. I did not know exactly what was wrong, but I felt something in my stomach that made me feel really sick. So I fall asleep around 5 a.m. and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to miss his good morning, sweetie text, but that's okay. He'll understand and I'll text him later. And then about 7 in the morning, I'm a really, really heavy sleeper most of the time, and if you call me or text me or message me or anything when I'm asleep, I won't wake up from it. I'm a very deep, very heavy sleeper. But one of his brothers had called me, and for some reason I woke up from this, and he left a message, and he said his name and that I had to call him back, that it was an emergency. Because I don't know why I woke up to that, because I like I said, I never wake up when people call or leave me messages. I'm a very, very heavy sleeper most of the time. So I call his brother back, and right off the bat, straight to the point, he said Michael passed away. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was just on the phone with him. And at first I thought it was just a joke, a cruel joke, like maybe they didn't want me in his life anymore. I didn't know what. It was just like that first step of denial, you know, the 5 stages of death. I guess it was just denial. And I hung up on him. I didn't mean to, but I fell out of bed and I was hyperventilating and I screamed, and I went into my mom's room screaming, and she woke up because she was sleeping, and she was like, what's going on? What's the matter? And I just remember collapsing and screaming, Michael is dead. And neither one of us believed it. At this time we thought maybe it was just a joke. So then my mom calls the same brother back, and he confirmed it with her that he wasn't joking, that Michael passed away in his sleep. And I was screaming, I was fainting, I was pleading, I was saying, please, not again, not Michael. Just not again. Please don't do this to me again. And after all the screaming and flailing I was doing with my body and pleading, I kept saying, I'll leave them alone. I'll stay out of the family. I'll do anything they want. Just please tell them to stop saying this. Because I didn't want to believe that it was true, that this could happen 2 times in my life. So, I'm not going to say after I calmed down, because I wasn't calm at all. I called Josh. I had to call Josh. His family asked me to tell his friends, and the only person I cared about was Josh. And Josh has his phone on silent when he goes to sleep, and he wasn't awake yet. So I called his mother, and I left a voicemail saying it was an emergency and I needed him to call me. And when Josh called me, having to tell him that the guy who he grew up with, that he loved as a brother, was dead, just out of nowhere. With no warning whatsoever. It was just like getting on the phone with Corey's parents and telling them that their son had died all over again. I mean, I know that's much worse, but I hate having to make those phone calls. I had to actually get off the phone with Josh and give the phone to my mother so she could explain, because I was sick and I was in shock. I stopped talking. I didn't know what to do. And I felt helpless. Absolutely helpless. Him and his family and all my friends are back in New Jersey, and I'm stuck here in Colorado with just my immediate family. My father, my mother, my sister. That's it. And I wanted more than anything, well, I obviously didn't want this to be true, but all I wanted was to be held by Josh and be with Josh and be with Michael's family and be there with them. I was completely deserted. I was completely alone, and I felt like I couldn't do anything from here. They had a viewing, which a couple of his brothers made sure to send me pictures and to make sure that I was there in spirit, which was beautiful. And in the pamphlet, in the obituary part of from the viewing, when they name all his families that he's survived by, the last people they put in there, which I can't thank them enough, they wrote his best friends, Josh and Kaylee, team epic fail. His family then packed away a box of stuff that was sentimental between him and I, of his things, one of them being this hoodie. Since then, I've been doing everything I can to distract myself from the fact of his death, because I'm not in the stage of accepting it. What's different between Corey's death and Michael's death, I don't love any of them more than the other. I love them both the same. I do. And for different reasons. But what's different was I knew Corey for 2.5 years. I knew Michael for 6 or 7 years. Dated for almost 6. And I was a lot closer to Michael. I mean, I was the closest you can be to Corey, but just the years piling up. And the good thing that happened with CORY is that I had friends, I had a group of people to keep my mind occupied. Out here in Colorado, I don't know anybody. I don't have any friends out here. I just have my family, and I know that's all I need, but I do need friends out here. I had nobody to keep me occupied from the fact that the worst thing in the world has just happened to me. With CORY, I did. I had people surrounding me to help me keep me occupied and keep me feeling secure and loved, and nobody makes me feel more loved than my family, but you do need somebody besides your parents and your sister to help you through something like this. I do want to thank his family for everything that they have done, for all the pictures, and for all of the sweet things that they have said to me. And I love them all very, very much. And all Michael ever talked about, all he ever wanted, was for me and his family to get together and love each other. And I'm honoring him by doing that. And with the story of CORY, I don't have any family of his to say I'm sorry to, because they're both dead. They killed themselves, and Michael has tons of family, so I don't exactly know what to say. I don't know what to say in this position. One of the last few months, we were FaceTiming and talking while I was in Colorado. Our things became, this was our thing. I want to make this clear. This was our thing. He had never watched or even heard of these shows before I mentioned them, and I'm mentioning this for a reason. The Borgias and the Tudors, because every time he would ask, what am I watching? That's pretty much what I was watching. And I would send him like fan-made videos of the Tudors and stuff like that, and we started comparing each other to Anne and Henry before he had her beheaded. And he said, you know, I even have the text message of him saying that he really wants to get into these shows, because like the only things he has is the videos and clips from the shows and the fan-made videos that I sent him every single day, several times a day, and the quotes that I would send him every single day. So we had our own little fantasy love relationship when it came to mostly Anne and Henry from the Tudors. And from the Borgias, his nickname I gave him for the last few months of his life was Capretino, which means little goat in Spanish. And it's from the Borgias, from Vanazza to Rodrigo Borgia. She called him Capretino. And since Michael was Hispanic, I called him that. And the first time I called him that, he automatically loved it. So I still call him that. But those shows were our thing. That was our romantic thing. Nobody else's. I just want to make that clear. Because somebody did try to steal those memories from me, and that is just an awful, disgusting thing to do, and it is not appropriate to do to somebody who is grieving over something like this. I understand other people are grieving over this. I'm not stupid, but don't keep your memories with him. Don't take mine, because they're all that I have. I'm gonna end this video now. Saying that anybody who's watching this, whether you're married or in a relationship, or even if you're not, tell your family, tell your loved ones that you love them every single day. Every single day, no matter, even if you are having a fight or going to bed mad, don't go to bed mad at them. Just get over it, because you never know what's going to happen, and then you're too late. And then you can't take it back. I'm 27 years old, and I've had to bury a fiance and a boyfriend. A very serious boyfriend. And I'm 27. If I were 97, it would be a little more common that I would marry 2 husbands. But I'm 27. It's not right. So in closing, like I said, don't ever go without telling each other you love each other. Cherish each other every minute. Make it a memory. Because you never know when that's all that's going to be. What you have is memories. And even they kill you. Because you just want to make more. Michael, I love you. Through all your faults, I love you so much. And I'm sorry for the little things that we fought over that were just so trivial that didn't even matter. I'll always love you. You'll always be my cappuccino. And I can't wait to get a tattoo for you. I really wish I didn't have to. But it'll be there because I will be your porcelain princess forever. I love you. And to all of my Blazers, I love you. And stay wicked.
My lovely princess here is filming a documentary, and well, from being a cameraman from earlier, I was introduced as her boyfriend. My name is Michael.
This is not my documentary.
Right. And this is not her documentary, so this was all a waste of time. But it's good practice for the real thing.
Yes.
So, future Mike, when you're watching this, remember, you're still a douche.
But you're my douche.
Her douche.
Yes. My douche.
Oddly enough, we make a cute couple.
Oh, let's put on night vision.
If we put on night vision, let's make it nighttime.
I think I'm taping my boobs. Trying to push my boot. Push. There you go. Wow.
I can't see the couch.
Now you know what it's like. You're seeing what we see. There we go.
Now this is true night vision because we are in the dark.
Yes. You hold it.
Oh, look at the kitty.
What? Looks like I have blonde hair.
It does. Looks like I have a white hat on.
My hair like pointed up and then down because that's not the best shot of me.
What? No, this is the best shot of you.
No, it's not. It goes.
And this is me. Cold steel.
Who's still?